So this is a new section of the channel, which is called trade recaps. So I'm going to be breaking down the trades that we take for the signal room. Like today, we're up 3 R to R in the signal room, just so you guys have a full understanding of why I took the position, why I got out at that position, why I put my stop loss where I put my stop loss at, and everything you guys need to know so that you guys can trade just like me and see the setups that come out just like I do every single day. So let's get right into it. I don't want to waste your time. Okay, so now that we're here on the charts, I'm going to start off with this gold trade that we took for the signal room, as you guys can see right over here. So this gold trade right over here that we took for the signal room, a lot of people caught up with us, but now let's break it down for you guys. So the first thing I saw when I hopped on the charts was this setup right here. I knew that price came down and broke these lows over here, so that's telling me that we have a seller's bias. Okay, so now I started to draw up my support and resistance levels, which were sitting right over here. This support and resistance level sitting right here. I could even stretch that to the left. And then we noticed that we had price creating higher highs and higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So this is our ultimate high over here. Now what did I do at this point was draw this little range, even this zone up here, which that is the true level. If you notice, we're getting reaction, 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 reaction. And now we understand that if price starts to break below that zone, we should be looking for potential sell positions. So now we had this level of support, which this was my original target level here. And this area over here is also a target zone here. So once we break this zone, we can start looking to take this zone over here and looking to take our profits down to this level. Now a lot of people might say, oh, why are you drawing out that zone? It's such a minor level. Yes, it is, but if you notice and you stretch this to the left, you're going to see a lot of rejection, 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 rejection. So what does that tell you? That tells you that we have a lot of potential to reject or react at that level. These are just levels of reaction. Once I started to draw up my zones, I knew that we had to go down to the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, we were extremely bullish, and this was our London session over here. So let's skip to our New York session. This is still London session. I was sleeping at this point. So notice how that level gave us a sell position already. That tells me something. If we've sold from that zone before, what happens if we come back up to that zone? Now I'm going down to the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, you're starting to see some sort of consolidation here. Now it's not the cleanest day to trade gold, but it was a pretty nice move. We have clear direction coming right over here, and this is when I actually took my position. I took my position based on it coming back up and retesting that structure point. We had a previous sell coming from that level there, so I knew that if price stays below this zone, we should continue down to tap into this area just like this. So we took a sell position right there, sellers right there, with a stop loss of just 20 pips. The reason why I just wanted a tight stop loss on this position is because if we start to trade above this zone here, what can happen? Price can easily come back up, reject, and push back up, which we don't want that to happen. All I did was pretty much just wait for a retest of the structure point and try to get something like this to happen, where price pushes down, price comes back up, and then just comes straight down. We had a take profit here of a 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, just sitting right over here. So now all we needed to see here was lower time frame structure here start to give us that confirmation. Right here, we needed a candle here to close bearish. So once we start to close with that weakness, pay attention to these candles here. Is this candle a candle that you would look to buy on, or would you look to sell on? This is something that you have to start asking yourself when you're looking for trading positions. For me, I would like to sell on weakness of candles. Notice how weak this candle is, and notice how bearish that candle is. This is starting to give you a sense of reversal. Okay, so this is a reversal pattern here. If you notice, price is also at a reversal zone, which is something that we also need to keep in mind here. So price eventually does give us that push that we're looking for to the downside. Now here at this point, we started to think about, okay, should I move my stops to break even at this level? Potentially. So now all you have to do is look left and look at on the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, we're getting tons of reactions at this very level here. This level sitting right here. That is the level that I'm looking to move my stops to break even and be risk free on this position, even though it's not the cleanest zone, but it's still a zone there that we can definitely look for a reaction at. So now I went back down to the 3-minute time frame, and we started to see how price was forming here. At this point, my stops went to break even, and I actually closed some runners because we started to tap into this area here. My full take profit was sitting right over here, so price eventually, that's the reason why I decided to take profit, because if you're at a level of support here, where price has supported in the past and supported in the past, what can happen in the present day? you need to start looking to take your profits because we have a lot of reactions at this area here. So now our trade is confirmed due to the fact that we have that weakness, we have that bearish engulfing candle, we have this structure point here starting to break, but now we're coming down and created a new low. So now this should be lower high structure at this point to continue pushing to the downside and hit our full take profits for that runner. Now I closed some right over here, and now price decides to come back up. Remember guys, when price starts to come back up, that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that it's bullish now. It just means that price needed to come back up and probably form a level of resistance at this zone right here. And if we form that level of resistance at that level, now we can start to see, okay, is price going to push down past this level and hold this area here? What happens? Price starts to come down, starts to come back up, but still staying below that area. And then just like that, full TP was smashed at that level. So very simple trade when you're looking at it like this. Just remember guys, if we've had a seller's position coming down from a level and a seller's here, so underneath this area here, sellers tend to take over. Underneath this zone here, we should be looking for sells. Okay, there are no buys above this zone here. That was our gold position here that we took, and now we're gonna move on to our Nas100 trade. Alright guys, so now for this Nas100 trade that we took at 7:06 a.m. was an absolute freaking banger, but it was a quick banger, right? It wasn't nothing crazy. We honestly took the position just due to the fact that we have this strong level over here holding. This is how the market looked when I came to the markets on the 1 hour time frame. We knew that we were within this range sitting right over here. So this was my target, my overall target for the runners. Now once price started to come back down, okay, we started to look at price come back down and retest this area here, but we still don't have that confirmation that we're looking for. But we know that that's the zone that we could possibly buy at or look for a breakout at. So now I went down to the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, we started to form this level of resistance here. Okay, so that level of resistance is telling me a lot. That's telling me that price is catching sellers over here to push price down into this level. Now, we also are below our 2 SMAs over here. So now I went down to the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, price starts to give us a small trend line over here. And we know that if there's a trend line, 90% of the time, we're going to come to the start of that trend line, which would be sitting down at this area over here. So once we start to break that trend line, I started to go down to the 3-minute time frame. On the 3-minute time frame, you're starting to see a story that's actually pretty nice, because if you notice, price comes down, price comes down, price comes down right to the start of that trend line here. So now I'm thinking we made that push to the downside. We see the market coming down over here, but we're reaching a major level of rejection. This major level of rejection shows me that if price comes down and taps into 701 over here, this is my level that I'm looking to get a rejection from. The reason for that is because we've gotten rejections from that level. And if price doesn't come back down to that level, we don't get a push to the upside. So I focused on catching a reject of that 701 zone, which is right over here. 701 was my point of rejection. Now I started to see, is price ready to come down? We get that zone and we get that rejection. I took the buy position coming back up on this candle over here with a stop loss of 1980. The reason why I put a stop loss of 1980 is because if you look left, price never comes down that deep for if we're trying to catch a rejection. My take profit was a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and then of course I was going to look to leave those runners to run up all the way up to here. Now price decides to come down and give us that rejection setup that we're looking for. Now price decides to give us a bullish engulfing candle. So at this point I knew that the trade was safe, right? At this point I actually moved my stops to break even on this position because I didn't want to risk any more on this trade that you have gotten your final confirmation for, which is a 3-minute engulfing candle with a 3-minute rejection of this zone of previous rejection. So right here my stops were at break even and price decides to just shoot up into profit. Now we start to get that bullish engulfing close again, so we're looking pretty nice here. At this point I closed most of my position at this level here because if you notice, price also has rejections of that zone. This zone also made price push down, so I don't want to risk price catching those sellers that push price down here and then risk hitting my full position at break even. So I just took my position right there, most of it, and I left a runner. The reason why I left a runner on this position is because if you notice, if price breaks this high over here, we should continue to run up past that level. So held the position, the full runner runner was held, and price eventually did come back down and stop me out at break even. Unfortunately, it was due to the fact that price, if you're noticing on Nas100, price has ran up so much with no real retracement. So this could be that real retracement that we're looking for. If you're noticing on the 15-minute time frame, we also get that rejection. We also get something called a dollar candle, which is a pretty much, it's a bearish hammer candle, right? Price has a longer wick than the body, showing you rejections. Price then comes up, bullish engulfing close, right? I was going to look for buys above this zone here and sells below this area here, but decided to just take the buys at the bounce, right? So this is my bounce strategy for Nas100. Very simple trading this morning. We're up 3 R on the signal room. Everybody's loving it. And guys, expect more videos like this. This is where I kind of just get to talk to you guys and just really connect with you guys and just teach you guys on how my trading is so successful so far, and just show you guys the reality of trading, the losses, the wins, everything about it, bro. So today we didn't take any loss, so there's no reason to show you guys a loss. If there is a loss, I will be making a video on it. It won't just be the green days that you guys will be seeing on this trade recap. But I appreciate you guys, and if you guys have any questions, just leave a comment. Make sure you guys like this video, and I'll be responding to all the comments later on today. I appreciate you guys, and have a great rest of your day.